Like when I look at myself, it's normally between like me taking two roads. Like sometimes I'll try to like strong on my thing as opposed to creating it, right? And what I mean is like if I'm trying to achieve a goal, if I'm trying to become a new person and I'm becoming that person off of looking at everybody else. Like for example, when I was 270 and I was trying to lose weight, I would look at brothers like Mr. Infinity or brothers like Jalen Ellison down there, and I would say, well, what are they doing? And I say, okay, they're doing like this. They're going to the gym. This is what they're doing. So let me do what they do. So I would do that for a while, and it may last for a week or two. But since it wasn't who I was, about a week or two later, I'll fall back to the old self. But when I started creating that person, like instead of going the strong arm way, I'll go the creation process and tap into that all. Now I'm becoming that person. So now the things that I do on a daily basis aren't trying to imitate what I've seen. It's who I am.
If you think about it, the fact that you're here is magic. Your parents were opposite poles. Your parents were the negative pole and the positive pole. The negative pole being the female, the positive pole being the male. So negative is not a bad thing. Negative means receptive. It's an open space. That's what negative means. And positive means that it will fill the space. So when a man and woman get together, the positive fills the negative and creates life. You understand what I'm saying? That's magic. So whenever you have something that's being created, you have to have those two forces involved. Even your thinking, you have a left and a right brain. So when you have a left and a right brain and they're engaged correctly, you have divine intelligence. See, the problem with the thinking nowadays is only dealing with one side of the brain. See, that's regular intelligence, but divine intelligence is when you have the heart. Now, Neville Goddard says this too, when you have the heart and you have the intelligence working together. When you have the man, which is the mind, and the heart, which is the woman, and they both respect each other and they work together, they can create and do anything.
But I gave the example of at one point in my life, I would judge men that would go over the deep end in custody battles. It'd be like, I look at it on the news and I'd be like, man, did you have to go there with it? Like, because I couldn't relate. I didn't have compassion. I used to judge that until I went into my own situation where I was knocking on that door of crossing over. And then I was like, that's how you go there. And I had compassion. That was karma. It wasn't to punish me. It was to teach me compassion and where I can perceive myself in other people.
I understand. Yeah, that's the crazy thing. Like last week, I was listening. We just going back and forth about the all and what is the all, what ain't the all. It's like, you know what I mean? Yeah. It's just one of those subjects about life, man. You know what I mean? But I just try to simplify things to kind of understand it, and that go back to where my level is as far as the conscious thing. I know a few things, but I just try to keep it simple. And now though, man, we all right. I feel like shoot, that's what we need. We need to bounce that thing around and get some clarity, man. Yeah, it's all good. It's productive.
Yeah, see, that's what I was trying to say. There's a different law for each dimension, and you got to learn which dimension you are in and use the law for that dimension.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I mean, he beat me to the punch. I was going to actually say that I feel like the laws themselves all hold equal power based upon the dimensional experience that you're going through at that current time. And I think Brother Soul kind of spoke to this because, he said something about he went through a point in his life where he was growing in certain areas and he became so evolved spiritually that he was lacking another part of his life, and he can feel himself kind of floating off balance a little bit. And so I think to that point you can kind of get that you need to understand each law equally in order to move in divine wisdom, and depending on the experience or the expression that you're going through.
Yeah, I was going to add to that too. I agree 100% with that. All the laws are equal, but you just have to understand where you are. When you're in a situation where you're in the fifth dimension creating the world that you want, you're still going to have the law of rhythm kick in. So things might be going good for you, but the pendulum may swing in a negative way. Then the cause and effect comes in and it lowers your mental you start thinking negative. And now it lowers your vibration. So then you got to learn to keep your vibration high and your mental in the right place while these laws kick in to keep on the path.
To make some beats on. Took this idea out of my mind, made a beat, put it on a website, and then that's when the money started flowing to me.
That's it.
It makes you be resourceful. If you don't have this, okay, then use your mind to see what you can come up with to make that a reality. So you already, once you thought of the shit and you, okay, this is what it is, you already, there it is, it's proven. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you go about doing it, and then every word that you speak becomes real. 2014, I didn't know what the fuck, you know what I'm saying? I just wrote down, I'm gonna be a platinum producer one. 2018, platinum producer. You know what I'm saying? But I was successful once I wrote that shit down on paper.
That's what I was gonna ask you, bro. So your steps for doing that, once you wrote that down, at that point, did you start looking at third dimensional laws? Like, let me look at laws, or did you become that first in the spiritual world?
It became it first, and it started in the mind.
Yeah.
And then it became a physical, it became a manifestation, but I was just being. Just being who the fuck I was got me to that place.
He gives actual quotes that you probably never even heard before. He said that Henry Ford was aware of it, all of them aware of it. This is the secret inner teachings that Napoleon Hill was not necessarily able to give out. This is one of the things that's missing from the secret. You are actually a broadcast tower that's broadcasting energy into the universe. And you wonder why you get the results you get and the people show up in your life, because it's what you're broadcasting.
It took me the longest out, when things weren't going my way, I was like, you know what, there's something I'm not doing. And I was trying to figure out what that thing was. I would go to these books and say, you know what am I not doing? What do these people know that I don't know? What do I see people that are succeeding? Like, what do they know that I don't know?